Hello there, everybody. This is Orgo Sinha, and today we will be talking about auto policy on our device cWAN. So, moving on to the topology, we have two devices set up, one as client and one as server. On the server side, we have the IP of 64.1, and on the client side, we have the local area network of 66.1, as you can see here. So the client is connected to the internet with two broadband connections, and the server is connected to the internet with one broadband connection. And the public IP, we have a public IP on this side, on the server side. And today, what we'll be doing is we'll be using auto policy, which is a policy which you can assign to a group of devices, and when a device is onboarded to that group, a certain policy or a certain amount of policy with metadata is implemented on that device. Simply speaking, once you onboard these two devices, all the tunnels that we usually build on our own will be automatically built. So moving on, we'll be having a look at the IP table. This is something recommended to do while configuring metadata. As you'll see on the next few steps, that we'll be needing these informations to create the metadata of a device. And henceforth, we're just gonna go ahead and do some configurations now. We'll go ahead and go to our browser. I have the Edge controller open here. As you can see, we do not have any of our devices that we'll be using today. So today we'll be using HQ and Mumbai, and we are on Edge controller right now. So to begin with, we'll have to configure the metadata, and to configure the metadata, we have some templates that can help us out. So we'll go ahead and import the templates. As you can see, I do not have any templates right now. So I'll press on import first, import templates, and click on browse. I have these templates which are in YML file loaded here. So we'll use this one, and we'll use this one. So the thing about this is, as you can see here, we have the product IP noted down here. So the process of getting the product ID is through SSHing into the device, or if it's onboarded, you can take it out from info, going to setup and then clicking on info. So I'll just quickly demonstrate how to do that if you're connected on the same WAN subnet, or if you're connected to your device through a LAN interface. So as you can see, I am on the 5.1 network and Mumbai is on 0.1, and it is getting an IP of 0.217. So we'll go ahead and SSH into that device. First, we'll try pinging it, 192.168.0.217. Looks like we have a ping, so we'll just go ahead and SSH into this. SSH minus P. This is our default port number, 1222. Now I'll put the user ID and router, and there we go. It's asking for password. We'll enter the password here. So as you can see, as soon as we log into the device, we can see the product ID pop up. This is the product ID that I have collected and put in my Excel sheet. Just to let you know, this is for just noting purposes. This Excel sheet won't be used for the configuration directly. Like, we won't be uploading this Excel sheet. We're just using the data on the Excel sheet to configure our metadata. So we'll be copying it from here and pasting it in our browser. I'll just get to that later on. For now, this is the way we can get the product ID. Now, if we press 8 here, which lists IP address, it will list all the IP address present, and this will also give us the port names. So as you can see here, I have made a note of the port names, as I'll have to enter that when I'm entering metadata for WAN 0 and LAN 0. So these are the port names. As you can see here, you can grab these and keep it here, as well as the IP addresses. If you're connected to WAN and it's all working fine, then it should show up in here with the gateway. You can make a note of it here. Also, just to let you know that WAN is connected in the net balancer WAN interfaces, which means that we have net balancers configured for our WAN interfaces. So moving on, we'll go ahead and go to our browser now. And as you can see, we'll be importing this and this. We've already chosen this. So we will go ahead and put the 55VL, which is 55VL here. So we'll go ahead and import this. Now we have this is our server's metadata, and this is our branch metadata. So now we'll go to metadata, create metadata, click on the model number. We'll be configuring our HQ first. So as you can see, it ends with a bunch of zeros and then 1. So we'll choose the one with x86, a bunch of zeros and then 1. And it'll give us a bunch of options. So this is the part where you'll be needing this Excel sheet the most. So we'll go ahead and start configuring. First, we'll copy the product ID of our Tenet HQ and paste it here. Give it the name of Tenet HQ. We'll copy it and paste it as description. The management IP is mentioned here. We'll go ahead and connect the management IP. So this is the IP which helps the device connect to its provider. As you can see, it's our IP as well. So it helps the device to connect to the provider, which in turn controls the device. Or this is basically where the provider is. So anyways, moving on, we'll go ahead and configure regions. So we're based out of Noida. So we'll put in Noida here, Noida again in location name. I have noted down the longitude and latitude. So we'll put 28.5, 77.3, 28.5, and then 77.3 here. So this part is done. Host bit is done. So we'll go ahead and configure WAN, as we only have one WAN interface. We'll just untick WAN 0 and WAN 1. So this is where you put in the interface name. If you go ahead and go here, copy this and paste it here, you'll be able to see that it gets pasted without any errors. So let's say if we enter a name which is not there and we try to create it, it'll give invalid. So I'll just show you if it doesn't when we enter the right one. But then again, you'll have to be careful about what you're entering, as this will be used as the interface. So WAN is on ETH0 on the device, so we're entering that. We'll copy the gateway here. Description will put as the same, and this will put as 100 Mbps. Then moving on to gateway, we'll paste the gateway that we have copied. And public facing IP is this IP. That is a static IP. So we'll go ahead and paste it here. In network type, we'll put in broadband and hit create to check if everything is all right. Whoops, I think I created it. No, that's all right. You can go ahead and edit and add more as you need. So we'll be needing a LAN interface. As you can see, we have 64 as our Tenet HQ LAN interface. So we'll put it in here. Actually, this is interface. So we'll cut it here and put it here in the IP section. We'll give it a netmarks of 24. This is ETH0, which is our LAN 00. So we'll put that here. We'll enable DHCP by ticking the DHCP option. We'll put in our network address, which is 64.0, and put in our subnet, which is 24. We'll give a lease time of 365.00.00, as in semicolon, I guess that's what it's called. So we'll go ahead and paste it here. This is our default lease time and max lease time. And in here, we'll be configuring our DNS addresses. So one is 8.8.8 and the other one is 4.2.2.2. Once that is done, we can move on to giving it a range of IP addresses that it will have. So we'll give it from 100 to 200. And now we'll move on to the VPN section. So this allows you to this is asking for the host value, IP address host value. So this will be using the first one, second one, or third one, and it'll be making IP addresses. Now to explain this better, as you can see, we have a network address of 111 here and a host bit of 1. So instead of putting the entire thing here, 1.1.1.1 will be just using the host value, which is 1, and be excluding the network bit of it. So basically we'll be using the last octet. So this is the tunnel IP address, the tunnel facing IP address. So as the last octet is 1 here, we'll be putting 1, and here we'll choose 24 for our subnet. And that's pretty much done. We are good to go with our metadata. So we'll go ahead and update it. And we'll create another metadata with the 555VL. As you can see here, we have 555VL as our Tenet broadband Mumbai, which is acting as a client. So we'll click here and copy our address. We'll go ahead and paste it off. We'll name the device. We'll put in a description. Management IP will be the same. So we'll add the management IP. Region would be Mumbai. Mumbai again. We'll put longitude, latitude, that's 19 and 72.8. So 19.0 and 72.8. Moving on, as we have two WAN interfaces in our Tenet Mumbai branch, so we'll go ahead and configure 2 and untick the third one. So from here we'll copy Ethernet 0 and paste it as interface name. We'll just change this to 1. As you can see on WAN 1 we have Ethernet 1, so we'll go ahead and configure that as 1 for description and interface. Once that is done, we'll put in 100 Mbps as our speed. We'll do the same for this one. And in gateway, the first gateway we have is 7.1. So we'll put 7.1 here, and this is a broadband connection. The second gateway for this WAN 01 is 0.1. So we'll copy that and paste that here and select it as broadband. Once that is done, we'll again be configuring LAN for our Mumbai Tenet as we did before with the HQ1. So the interface for this is here. We'll copy this, we'll paste it here. The IP address for this for our LAN will be this, and our net mask will be 24. Then we'll go ahead and push the DHCP tick mark here so that we can configure DHCP. This will be the same address except it will be 0, so that we're defining the network here, so that it's 66.0. And we'll put 24 as subnet mask, 365.00.00 as our lease time. We'll copy that and paste it as our max lease time as well. Now for DNS, we'll do 8.8.8, 4.2.2.2, just like before. And we're good to go for now. We'll just configure the range here from 100 to 200. And then we'll go to VPN, and as you can see, we configured the last octet of this tunnel IP. And here, as we are in the Mumbai branch, will be as in the Mumbai, we will be configuring this tunnel IP, which is 2, where the last octet is 2. So we'll put in 2 here, and put it as 24, the subnet mask. Once that is done, we can go ahead and press create, and that's how we create the metadata. And as you can see, these metadatas are available. So what this does is, this basically is like the skeleton system of the device. We will be using this configurations later on through policy. So when we push policy, the information of what WAN IP is and what LAN IP is, everything will be grabbed from here. So now we'll go to actions and create some actions for our metadata. In here, in actions, we'll name it as tunnel 1. And first we'll be configuring DC, so DC tunnel 1, and we'll put it at DC. The template, whoops, looks like we haven't imported any templates yet, so we'll go to templates and click on import templates and then browse templates. Just like this, in here I have these templates. This is DC VPN SSL, and we'll be configuring branch DC VPN SSL as well. So we'll select both of these, click on open and import these. Once that is done, we can now go ahead and create action. We'll click on create action. In here we'll put DC tunnel 1 and just DC here. And now as you can see, the templates are appearing here. So as we are on the DC, configuring DC now, so we'll click on DC. DC has one WAN interface, so we'll put this one as WAN 0, and network position is this is the network position. So as you remember, we put the last octet there, and the rest of it will be putting here. I have enabled this port for SSL, so I'll choose this and we'll switch on compression, encryption, and hit create. So that's one of our tunnels created. We'll go ahead and create another one. That'll be DC tunnel 2, and in description we'll put as DC. Just delete this off real quick. DC, and then here we'll be clicking the same template for DC. We'll switch on compression and encryption. We'll click on the first WAN interface, as we only have one WAN interface on this device, which is connected to the internet. Now we'll go ahead and configure the other port and the other IP address, network portion of the IP address. As you can see here, this is our second tunnel, and we are configuring DC, so we are putting 222, and 1 we have already placed in our metadata. Now once this is done, we'll go ahead and create. Now that our actions are created, we will go ahead and create some policies. And to create policies, just click on create policies. We'll name it DC tunnel policy. And we'll go ahead and copy that and paste it here. We'll select one after the other, and this is where we can order our actions. So if we want something to be applied first, we can put it first, and then it will be applied first, and then this will be the second one. So once this is done, we'll hit create, and we have a policy now. So we'll also create actions for our branch. So we'll go ahead and create, and we'll put branch here, tunnel 1, then put branch here, and then in templates we'll select the branch template. So the thing about this is we won't be able to create that as we haven't onboarded the HQ device, so we'll just leave it for now and go ahead and onboard the device. So before onboarding, there's one thing that we need to do. So the thing that we have to do now is to go to our edge controller and create our groups. I'll just delete these groups and show you how these were made. So we'll click and add group now and name it as HQ devices. We'll put it as DC and we'll put the tag as HQ equal to 1 here and press add, and then we'll press add. So make sure to click on add every time you use a keyword and value, or else it won't be saved until it's like stored here like this. So we'll go ahead and add it, and we'll add another group for our branch. And here we'll put key as branch and 1. And once we click on it or press enter, while we are highlighted on it, it will get added, and then we can add the group name. Now once this is created, what we'll be doing is assigning the policy that should be flashed when any devices are imported to this group with this tag name. So here, if you see, it says set default policy. So we'll go ahead and click on this and put default policy as DC tunnel policy, which we have just created from policies, and hit save. Now finally we can go ahead and onboard the device. As you can see, I have these two devices, and it's kind of hard to figure out which one is which one, as I have Mumbai and Tenet HQ here. So we'll go ahead and check the product ID, and as you can see, a bunch of 1 is our Tenet HQ. So we'll go ahead and import this one, and here we'll go ahead and put an HQ equal to 1. This is for our, this is so that this device goes into that group through key and value, and hit add, and we'll click onboard. So usually this will take a little time, but we can go ahead and check in jobs and see if the auto policies are getting completed, and if there is no policy which is getting flashed, or basically the result of it. So this might take a little time. I'll go ahead and pause the video and get back at it as soon as this appears. So as you can see, it has started. The deployment of the policy has started. We'll give it another few minutes to get the result as completed. It'll show completed. So we can actually go ahead and start accessing the device right now, although it's not recommended because the policies are being flashed. As you can see, the tunnels are coming up, and this is the IP addresses that I have given, and it's still to add an IP address here. And if we keep watching this, you'll see suddenly that an IP address appears. We'll actually refresh it and see if that makes a difference. As you can see, it has completed now, and it shows us success. So we'll go ahead and check the configuration out. It all looks good on our VPN end, and in Net Balancer we won't be seeing anything. And this was configured from before, as I was saying. We already had this configured, but Net Balancers will see once we are putting in our Tenet Mumbai. So we'll go ahead and do that now. We'll go to actions, create action, and in here we'll say branch tunnel 1 ch, and we'll choose the branch template. In here, as we have imported HQ now, it appears on the list, so we'll hit HQ here. And as you know, we have two WAN interfaces on the DC side, on the branch side. So first we'll select the first WAN, and we'll give it a tunnel IP of 111. In DC side, we'll choose WAN 0, and here we'll give the port number. Now this is what LANs will be connected. So as you can see, we are connecting LAN 1 in Mumbai to LAN 0 in HQ. So that's branch LAN would be LAN 1, and this will be LAN 0 as mentioned here and here. And then we'll go ahead and hit create. We'll create tunnel 2 here. So we'll put in branch tunnel 2, put in branch here and then select the branch template again. So now we'll go ahead and select the DC, select our DC, which you can see appears here. So now that we are done with this, we'll configure our first WAN interface, and in branch side we'll be connecting WAN 1 now. So we'll select WAN 1, and in DC side we only have one WAN interface, so we'll just select WAN 0. This will be the second port that we enabled, and this will be the second tunnel IP that we have here, as you can see. And LAN would be the same, which is 1 on the branch side and 0 on the LAN side, and we'll hit create. So now that we have these two created, we'll go ahead and make a policy out of it. So this will be our branch policy. And here we'll select our branch devices. So that's branch tunnel 1, tunnel 2. We'll put it in order and hit create. Now that we have created this, we'll do the same thing, which is we'll go to groups and add our policy to the group. So as you can see, this is our DC. So we'll go to branch and add our policy branch. Whoops, it looks like I didn't save it. So we'll go ahead and save it, and as you can see, the tag is branch 1, and we have a policy which is our branch tunnel policy. Now we'll go ahead and import this tunnel from our onboarding, as in we'll onboard the tunnel, as in or we'll onboard the device, my bad. So we'll click in here and add branch 1 as our tag, and we'll hit add. Once this appears here, we can go ahead and onboard it. Just like before, we'll go to jobs now and we'll refresh jobs. This might take a little time, but it'll show up soon. So I'll just pause the video till it comes up. So as you can see, the Tenet Mumbai progress has started, and if we go to Mumbai now and start checking out, we'll see the configurations appear. So we'll give it another minute to flash. It usually takes about less than a minute, I would say, as you can see here. So as you can see, it has succeeded. So we'll go ahead and give it a look and see if all the tunnels and everything is working nice. So first we'll check our Mumbai, and we'll also check our, so as you can see, the VPNs are up on our Tenet HQ side. And also if we go ahead and go to tunnels, in our Tenet Mumbai site, as we can see, all the tunnels are up and working, as well as we have the certificates as well. So we'll go ahead and just perform a test now. If we go to utility and we ping our, so as we are in our 66.1 network, if we go ahead and pin 192.168.64.1, we'll be pinging the server device. As you can see, we have our ping. If we try to ping our server IP, which is 1.1.1, it's good to go and it's running. We'll ping the other tunnel, which is 2.2.2.2, and that looks out good. So this is a demonstration. This was a demonstration of auto policy with our IP table and metadata. So thanks for watching.